And this is the most important thing to remember if you want to get 100,000 streams on your song using these methods. My name is Alex, and my EDM record label, Spiration Music, has hit over 100,000 streams on 50 of our releases. Me and Nani are going to show you what we did for all of these songs so that you can hit 100,000 streams also. We promote our music primarily through meta ads. A meta ad is an ad on Facebook or Instagram that looks like this. If a user likes what they hear, they click on the ad to go to a landing page. They then click on the music service on the landing page to go to the music service, where they then hopefully listen to your song and save it, and then the algorithm boosts that song to tons of other people. If you can get people to click on your ad and go to the song and listen for cheap enough, you can make a profit on these campaigns. There are two vital things that we did for our 100K songs. Number one, we included the song on a playlist that we drive traffic to using ads. And number two, we drove traffic directly to the song using ads. Let's break these two down in detail. All of our new releases are added to this playlist. This is a playlist that we as a label own, and we drive traffic to it using ads. We have enough songs on this playlist to break even on royalties. If you are not a label and you can't fill a playlist with 300 songs that you hold the rights to, that's fine. There are other ways to break even on your playlist promotion as well. Step one is run ads to your playlist, grow it in followers until you can apply to sites like SubmitHub. When you become a curator on those sites, you can accept submissions for a fee and then use that fee to reinvest into your playlist to continue to grow it. That way you can break even on your playlist promotion, and it just becomes a helpful tool for you to trigger the algorithm. Let's look at our latest song to cross over 100,000 streams as an example. We released Words You Said on May 23rd, 2025, and it has 128,000 streams currently. If we look at the last 12 months, we can see some big Discover Weekly spikes, as well as a big Discover Weekly spike that just happened this past Monday. Now, if we go over to the playlist section, we can see how many streams our in-house playlist was giving to this song. Over the past 28 days, this song has gotten 1,500 streams from our playlist. And if we look over the past 12 months, the song has gotten 11,000 streams from this playlist, which is less than 10% of the total streams. Even though our playlist accounted for less than 10% of the streams on this song, those streams are still vitally important to our promotion. When our label releases new music, we put the new music in this playlist. When we put the music in this playlist, Spotify sees that and sees that people who stream that new song are also streaming all of our other releases. As long as people listen to that new song in the playlist and then go on to listen to more songs in that playlist, it signals to Spotify that these songs are kind of similar. And so if this new song is kind of similar to all of our older songs that have already found tons of listeners, then that means Spotify can recommend that new song to the listeners who also liked those older songs. Imagine Spotify's recommendation engine as a three-dimensional space with a ton of different data points, and each data point is a song. Somewhere in that three-dimensional space is Spiration Music's releases, and there might be some other releases from other labels mixed in there that are kind of similar to ours, but for the most part, our releases are pretty consistently in this space. So if we put a new data point in that space, Spotify can then recommend that data point to the other people who have liked these other data points. It also means that our older data points can be recommended to people who like the new song if they haven't heard the old songs. So this has this big network effect where the more that you release and the more that people hear your music, the more that more people hear your music. Real quick, if you make EDM and you don't want to have to bother with all of these complicated ad campaigns and you don't want to spend money on marketing, well then submit a demo to my record label, Spiration Music, where we do all of that for you. If your demo is accepted, we handle the meta ads and the playlisting so that you can focus on your music. Great, so we've got the playlist side down. What about sending people to the song directly using ads? Of the 50 songs that we have released at over 100,000 streams, we ran direct ads to 42 of them. The ones that did not have direct ads run to them were songs that were released before we had the capital to invest that much into individual releases. At that time, we were just doing the playlist, which is the opposite of what I recommend for individual artists if they have limited releases, but is what I recommend for artists or labels with a large number of releases. The songs that hit 100K streams without the direct meta ads hit that mark because they are older songs that have had more time to build, and they also did well algorithmically with just the playlist promotion. I also want to add that we've only run direct ads to 89 of our releases, which means about half of them, almost half of them, have hit the 100K stream mark. Why are those two statistics important? Well, I think that they mean, number one, that direct ads are a vital component in getting our music heard. And number 2, direct ads have a very high success rate for our releases, which we are really picky when choosing. So let's go back to the campaign that we ran for Words You Said and take a look at some of the important details. This campaign spent $500 over the course of 35 days, which put us at $15 per day in ad spend. We can see the campaign started when the song came out on May 23rd and ended on June 26th. The total cost per person that we sent over to Spotify was 22 cents. This was our best performing ad in the campaign.
So let me hold you till the end, 'cause I've been holding on to all the words you said.
You get the gist of it. All of the ads we ran for this campaign looked exactly like this. We had the Spotify logo, we had some sort of video in the background, and we had the album artwork. We ran 6 different ads in total, and the only difference between these 6 ads is which part of the song is playing. There are 3 main different types of ad creatives that tend to work really well for music. I like to recommend to people to use all of them and figure out which one works best. Because I have an extensive history with campaigns for my label, I know that my label's music tends to perform very well with this type of visual. So I will usually start campaigns with just that one type of visual. On the campaign level, our buying type is auction and our campaign objective is engagement. I have a $500 limit on the budget, so it does not go over that amount. In this campaign, I did not have Advantage campaign budget on, but in many cases I do. There are 2 ad sets here, and the reason there are 2 is because I did something that I usually recommend people don't do. In this case, it worked out. I turned off a bunch of ads that seemed like they weren't performing as well as one, and then forced Meta to spend on just the high-performing ad. That usually is a bad thing to do, but I know what to look for, and so I sometimes can get it right when I force Meta to do something. I can make an entire video about what to look for in this type of case. If you want that, just leave a comment letting me know. So we're just going to look at the ad set that got most of the ad spend, because most of the settings are the same. The only difference is this one has 1 ad as opposed to the other 5 as well. The conversion location is happening on website. The performance goal is maximize number of conversions. I'm using the same pixel I use for all of the song's promotions. The conversion event is the Hyped It Smart Link click. There is no cost per result goal. Attribution is standard, no dynamic creative, and the budget is $15 per day. The countries I am using are tier 1 and tier 2 countries, which I will link in a spreadsheet in the description of this video. Age is 18 to 50, which is more broad than I think the actual ideal audience is. The targeting is Spotify narrowed by electronic dance music. And the placements for this campaign are only Instagram feeds and stories and reels. In the ad itself, I'm using my label's accounts to show the ad. It's a single image or video sending people to this Hyped It landing page. I have a bunch of different text options in here. I like to fill out every single option and let Meta decide which one to show to each individual person. I have no headlines and I have no descriptions. The call to action is listen now, and I do have optimized text per person on. I want to also point out that I did not have Advantage Plus audience or Advantage Plus placement on. Those are detrimental to campaigns, so keep them off if you don't want to waste a lot of money. I like to test the songs in my ad campaigns with $100. If at the end of the $100, the cost is over 30 cents per conversion, I will usually stop the campaign, unless I see higher than average streaming. The cost here was below that threshold, so I let the campaign run to its final limit of $500, which is what I like to plan for every single release that we make. On Spotify for Artists, we can see when this campaign ended because we see a pretty large drop in the saves. Now the saves dropped, but we're still getting a lot of streams. In fact, we're getting 15 to 20,000 streams per month, even though the campaign ended months ago. And keep in mind, our playlist is only giving the song about 1 to 2,000 of those streams per month, which means that a majority of our streams are coming from the Spotify algorithmic playlists that were triggered using the meta ads in combination with our playlist. Because we're getting the amount of streams that we are getting, and because the main countries for the song are United States, Germany, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, we're making about $60 to $80 in revenue per month on this song, which puts us at the break-even point around 6 to 7 months. Because the song performed so well, we will run another campaign to it with double the original budget. And this is the most important thing to remember. If you want to get 100,000 streams on your song using these methods. The song is the most important part in a successful campaign, which means if a song is not performing well, it's probably a good idea to cut the budget early and save your budget for your future songs. That, of course, is just one campaign, but we use the same methods on the other 41 songs to hit 100,000 streams with direct ads and playlisting together. That is how we like to get 100,000 streams on our tracks, and I hope this video helps you to promote your music better.